Very warm welcome to everyone who's joined in. Before I start, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking out time and joining in today. And I really hope everyone is doing well, keeping safe, and taking extra precautions this time. So allow me to introduce you to the speakers of the session, and I will follow it up with the agenda so you know what's in it during the next 1 hour. So firstly, we have Ravi Bhaskaran joining in. He heads the channel and sales partnerships at Google Maps. We have Yogendra Bhatkar as well as Ranjit Kumar from the Mahindra Home Finance team. They have been very kind enough to join in and share their experience with us. And I'm Ria. Hello, everyone. And I am part of the India team here at Google Maps, part of the partner company called Searce. So quickly walking you through the agenda. So this is the introduction that is going on. Then I will pass on the baton to Ravi. He will share some real life insights into why location intelligence and how does it fit in the BFSI journey. Then we have a very, very interesting discussion coming up with Yogendra and Ranjit, along with Ravi, and sharing their journey of how Mahindra Home Finance started looking at, location as a core component in their infrastructure, and what helped them, and how did Google Maps, win the competition. Then we'll move forward with some top use cases and case studies, something that we've recently worked upon, and we're seeing a lot of traction coming in. And I will shortly wrap it up with how Searce as a partner can help you bridge this journey to location intelligence. And then we open the platform for a quick Q&A. So now I hand over it to Ravi. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ria. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and well in these times. I'm super excited to be here today with the Mahindra team and the Searce team to share thoughts around location intelligence, about maps, and how location is really playing a strategic role in the BFSI space. The next slide, please. Let me first start by acknowledging what a fascinating juncture we are in the world of fintech, right? I've spent time leading payments partnerships at Uber, and it is indeed an exciting space to be in. I don't have to tell you about, the rise of the challenges and the startups in the ecosystem, the rise of how, customer experience has become more important than ever before. Also, the role that tools and technologies, play in this day and age to not only remain relevant, but also to drive, revenue and growth. From Google's perspective, we are seeing that fintech players are increasingly leveraging our Maps API platform for a number of reasons: to service customers better, to improve operations, to save cost, drive revenue growth, and even optimize their business. And we are seeing this across the fintech space, right? Across payments, across banking, across insurance. So I thought I'll share how exactly these players are using location intelligence. So if we move to the next slide, we very recently, in fact, earlier this year, conducted a study on how the industry in general, not just fintech, but the industry in general, is using location intelligence. They were both a set of our own customers and the larger industry amongst the leading businesses in the US and UK and India as well. And we saw some very interesting results. I think it's fairly obvious to a fair bunch of us that location plays a really important role in retail and e-commerce, delivery and logistics. But we also saw that location is playing an increasingly important role in areas like real estate, in travel and tourism, where companies are enhancing their customer experience based on location. In BFSI, the session that today is about, companies are using location to optimize, workforce coverage. They're using location to, drive increased increase their profile of how they authenticate and assess the risk of their customers and their target clientele. And overall, we see that 90% plus businesses are saying that increasingly location intelligence will become even more important in the next few years. And in fact, I want to dive deeper into what we saw in the FinServ space in particular, right? There is a clear delineation of companies that are either leaders in how they use location. For example, how they use location intelligence data. They have a bespoke strategy. They have strong in-house capabilities, and they are very, very advanced users of location-based use cases. And think about digital native companies when I speak about leaders in the space, right? Then there are a bunch of companies that are challengers. They have adopted location as a key lever in their business, but they need to kind of further build their overall strategy and approach with respect to location. And then there are early stage adopters of the technology, but only using it for basic use cases. But really, I think the common thread is that most of them fully well understand the importance of location, either for now or for later. And a big chunk of them also think that they can be a huge differentiator in their business. And this is exciting, coming from the BFSI space, where location and the technology is not something that is very, very obvious. I want to give you a sense of some of the key reasons and some proof points on why FinServ companies use location, right? The first one is obviously to drive sales and unlock revenue. Location intelligence can help you understand your customers better, understand how to communicate with them, when and where to drive ROI for you. And there is extremely high retention for players who leverage location and target their customers, right? And you can see some of these average numbers here on the right. The second thing that you can do is drive great customer experience. A lot of startups and companies today are built on the strength of customer experience, and you want to start that on the right note, right? So it can definitely help. The location intelligence can definitely help you drive increased NPS amongst your consumer base, which can be a very large differentiator. An 8 to 15% increase in NPS is fairly commendable for any one lever, I should say. The third one, again, not so obvious, is how you streamline your operations. As a business, how do you spread your workforce across your target geographies? How do you drive how they interact with customers, and how they do their market planning? So that is something that we are seeing increasingly, and that is something that we are going to talk about more later with Mahindra. But this is something that we are definitely seeing a lot more. I want to, at this time, I want to divide the use cases that we see. I mean, the use cases is what really brings location technology to life, right? So I think there are two kinds of use cases. One is a set of use cases that are customer facing, right? How do you drive customer experience enhancement is the first one. Some examples could be simple ones, providing directions to the nearest location, store, branch, office, whatever. Providing the best time for you to get your service done. That's again something you can enhance your customer experience on. The third one is enhancing customer transaction data with location, so that you have better insights. Another one could be, how can you improve the ease of onboarding to your platform, right? That's an increasingly important aspect of the funnel today for especially new users, right? So that's the first bucket, driving digital customer experience enhancement. The second one is targeted communications. Profile customers based on location data and tailoring specific products and services based on that intelligence. Again, we can, and these are just indicative examples on how you can use location technology for driving customer experience. But we'll discuss more specific ones, and there could be tailored ones based on your business as well. If we move to the next slide, again, I want to quickly highlight a few use cases for your business operations. For example, if you're if you're a bank network, you can use location intelligence to optimize where to essentially set up your next branch, or where to set up your next retail store or warehouse. All this can be done with the help of Google Maps. The second one being authentication, risk and fraud. Underwriting teams and fintech companies and finance companies are increasingly talking to us on how we can help them with fraud detection, with risk filing, and really working to build a better customer identity profile. And the last two ones, like workforce optimization and route planning, are very interesting. Again, we'll talk about it more. But in a country like India, with companies having a large sales force and large customer bases to manage, how you optimize your workforce coverage and how you plan their day is extremely important to your business. So this can bring in immense efficiencies for you as a business. Moving on, I just want to wrap up by saying that Google Maps API platform is a way for you to bring some of these use cases to life. Bring the power of location services to your business, whether it's improving your experiences for your customer, driving increased operational efficiency, or just building upon location data to do to build your data analytics better. The Searce team and I are super happy to partner with you here in this journey as we go along. But thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about how companies are using location technology in the BFSI space. Thanks, Rhea.
Thanks so much, Ravi. Thank you so much for sharing those actionable real-life insights, and it helps attendees to relate it to their own business verticals. So moving on, we do have the most interesting part of our discussion today. Again, thanking Yogendra and Ranjit for joining in and sharing your journey. So I hand it over again to Ravi, Yogendra, and Ranjit for the next part of our discussion.
Thank you, Yogendra. Thank you, Ranjit, for taking the time out. I know what a busy period this can be, or you've just been through a very busy period. So thank you for this time, firstly.
My pleasure. No worries. Yes.
Maybe I'll ask my first question to Yogendra. Could you help me describe a little bit about Mahindra Home Rural Finance and how the finance business is doing, especially during this time through the last year, through the pandemic?
Hi, Ravi. As you're aware that Housing Finance is one of the largest housing finance company serving in rural India specifically, and we are having a presence in 13 states across India, and we are having around 9.5 lakhs housing finance customers across these, servicing from 650 plus branches. Yes, you rightly said that during this last 1 year, we faced a very tough period because of this pandemic and COVID-19 situation. We all are working from home. Sometimes we used to go and attend the office in case of any emergency. Otherwise, we are still working from home. And now, looking at the current situation, the working from home has extended to next couple of months. For business point of view, challenges was pretty much similar, which other businesses are also facing the same problems. And because of lockdown, all the customer visits, or you can say front-ending the business is almost stopped. But during this period, we got an opportunity to implement the Google Map platform to cover our collection piece, because we are in rural area. So our 95% or more than 95% collection is in cash. And as you know, the working capital of company is very critical in to run the day-to-day show. And if we lose on that front, it is very difficult and very tough time to survive in this particular period. But with the help of this implementation, we are able to collect our cash with the using the Google API, because as you said, location intelligence is very important, and it has played a very important role in our implementation. We know where our executives are in the field, and how they are visiting the customer. We capture the exact coordinates, location coordinates of each and every our collection executive. At present, we are having more than 6,000 collection executives in field, and we know means which collection executive is where it is exactly going in particular day and what kind of activities it is doing in front with the our field customer or field staff. So we are tracking very well with this implementation, and if you see with this help, we also able to reduce our cost, which is the second most concern thing in the operations. We need to reduce our operating cost every year. So we have able to reduce our operating cost more than 50% on year-on-year basis with this implementation. This is what means I can say about this particular journey of implementing this the location Google API with the help of Searce team, and of course you were there as a guiding partners to us. This is what the our journey is.
Thank you so much, Yogendra. I mean, like, I appreciate you giving the background about Mahindra Home Rural Finance business, how it's a rural business, and
Yes.
how location is so critical, to your business, and this especially during this pandemic period.
Correct.
I mean, Ranjit, I know you were worked a little more closer with the platform. Maybe I'd love to hear from you. What made you consider the Google Maps platform versus other choices that you may have had?
Yeah, of course, I am very fortunate to share you those happy journey with you, all of you. Okay, so actually what happened, as Yogender given you the bit insight of that about conveyance claim process, which we used to do manually. Okay, and sometime accuracy was compromised, and it was so much of lengthy process. It was taking good amount of time to get that claim to the employee's pocket. Okay, because they end of the day they will travel and they will get their money at later stage. So it was problem for them as well, and for organization as well, we are not able to verify the authenticity of the kilometer they have traveled. Okay, so to overcome that, we had a set of mind that to automate this process somehow in the system where we can get kilometers, and we come to know that we using the Google location, GPS location, we can do that thing. But initially we tried doing this calculation using some open source tool, but we found still 50% of variation was there. So it was not that up to the mark, and accuracy was compromised there again. So during that time again we thought like we can go for some like better solution for this, and fortunately we come to know about the Google Maps platform, and we are now achieving this with higher accuracy in the results. So we are very happy with that.
So glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that, Ranjit. Maybe I'll switch gears. After your successful implementation, what is the impact that you saw on your operations, on maybe your experience of your employees, or even the sales targets, and your overall business once you started once you implemented this tooling? Maybe Yogendra, you can take a shot at this.
Ravi, with this implementation, I would like to say it is a simple plug and play for us because the CS was also there with implementing, and the solution was user friendly, and it was adopted by each and every staff very effectively. Because since a rural company, we don't have tech savvy employees in field, but it was very friendly to use this navigation, and along with the collection app, they are able to capture their location as well. They don't have to do anything by their own. Software itself, it is calculating or capturing coordinates in background with the certain permissions in the app. Okay, with this, they are also happy that more than 97% claims we are receiving automated. The claim has completely automated now. There are challenges, but we are processing those claims also with the manual claim processing. But out of 100, 97 claims are coming seamlessly from the system only, and that is with 100% more than accuracy of 97-98% of accuracy. And the claim is also getting credited to the customer account directly. Means we are able to streamline the processes up to payout of the claims. Okay, and if you see the error percentage, it is not more than 2 or 3% in overall conveyance calculation with these coordinates, whatever we are capturing with the Google API. So that is how we have achieved, and we are very much satisfied as a head office, as well as means our regional offices are also satisfied, and our field staff is also satisfied with this implementation.
So additional to that, I would just say that it has also saved additional cost on the people involved in doing that processes. Okay.
Correct.
So
correct.
cost saving is there as well. So that is the better part of this, actually. And if you talk about the business also, it helps us a lot. Like, see, now earlier we were not having data whether people are visiting to the customer or not. Now, since
Correct.
it is linked to conveyance, they have to visit to the customer because everything is recorded now. So now in terms of customer feedback as well, we are able to take some certain operational decisions based on the data which we are receiving in the field. Okay.
Correct.
So that way, indirect benefit is also there to the organization.
Yes, we are also
Excellent.
using these particular coordinates in our AI intelligence. Means the ratio of kilometers, means percentage of kilometer he travel, then percentage of claim is getting received, means month on month tracking we are doing in this particular implementation.
Excellent. And great to hear that kind of all-round acceptance. Google Maps platform is a unique platform, right? And our go-to-market is unique in that we have strong technology partners in Searce to kind of really drive implementation and tell you about the use cases. And given the importance of a partner like Searce, like what has your experience been? What difference did Searce play in your overall journey? If you can share some light on that.
Being a BFSI company, actually we will not have that much of technology expertise people in our organization. Okay, so somewhere around we thought there should be someone who can assist us to do this POC, and we found fortunately Searce team, and they have done this POC thing, because for management we have to show some kind of proof that it is working or it can be implemented. Okay. So for this POC perspective, Searce has done complimentary service for us. So it was again a very good thing for us. And they have also explained that how it is different than your radial distance, which is we have done using our open source tool, how Google Maps can give you good accuracy. Okay.
Correct.
So that has actually changed perspective of our management as well. I was aware as a technical guy, but our operations team and other stakeholders has to be convinced to say, okay, so this POC has helped us a lot to convince them. Yeah.
Correct.
So they were actually worried about whether rural India GPS will work or not. So, but
whether we will adopt or not, that is also the question.
Yeah. So that confidence given by Searce team, and like thankfully we were able to implement this. So Searce also suggests us what are all APIs are available in the market. So what API is the best, and also see it is not that you just go and implement that API. Okay, you need to think of the cost perspective as well. If you are implementing, if it is a chargeable API, you need to think of how you can optimize that usage. Okay, so in that way also Searce has helped us, like how we can in minimum hits or minimum usage you can actually arrive your results. So that was the good thing about the Searce, which they have actually proactively did that. Okay, so by seeing that proactiveness and the nature of service, we again thought of implementing some of the Google Cloud platform as well. We have just started implementing that as well in our organization. So we are happy on that front as well. Users are happy with that implementation as well.
Amazing. I know you've done recently done a successful implementation of route planning optimization and fuel reimbursement. But any plans on implementing other business use cases with the location component with the help of Google Maps?
Yeah, of course, we have roadmap. Okay, we have already taken other API and we have done POC and all internally. With the use of geocoding API, we are trying to do property verification. BFSI, how it is important for us. Okay, so if to sanction any loan, you have to verify your property. So now using that API, we can at least capture the location of the property and we can save and we can leverage that in future. Okay, so that is again a very good tool, and that is in our roadmap. And second thing is like we are also planning to implement this conveyance process in our lead generation model. So lead is something like whenever our sales team will go to the customer and lead is generated. So that time also we are trying to leverage this facility. Not only as Yogender said, like we are part of Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services. So we have other 4 companies as well. So we have presented this implementation conveyance calculation presentation to other members as well, other companies as well, and they are also happy to see how we are optimizing, how we are using this technology and geocoding API and other our Google Maps API. So they are also planning to implement. They are just discussing. They are doing some fact checks and all, and then probably they are very happy to adopt this technology as well. So that is what they are in our roadmap as well.
Great to hear. Look forward to that. Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you, Yogendra, for being great customers. Looking forward to doing a ton of more work with you.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Riya.
Yeah, please. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Yogendra and Ranjit, and thank you, Ravi. So we do have quite a bit of questions coming in for you, Yogendra and Ranjit. So we'll take those questions towards the end of the presentation. But yes, people on the call, feel free to ping as many questions as possible. We do have allotted time for this. Moving on, I wanted to share some of the top use cases in the industry that are being adopted, and I will follow it up with some case studies as well. So how we wanted to showcase, as Ravi mentioned during his part of the presentation, we divide these use cases in 3 parts. The first part takes care of the customer experience on how can we Google Maps support your customer experience. The second part would be how can we enhance security and safety. And the third part would be around operational efficiency and how can you take more strategic decisions based on with the help of Google Maps platform. So diving into the first customer experience portfolio, I'll share the use cases. The first use case is a branch or a service locator. This is something where banks, especially banks or financial services industries, which have local brick and mortar presence, and they would like people to understand which is the closest one to them. And given ATMs and the kind of services that we have, there are some which are check deposit points of sales, or which are ATMs, which are main branches. There are somewhere where you can support credit card transactions, right? So you want customer to know this entire information when are you open, so that they have like a very seamless experience throughout, using your interface, using the services of your bank. So this is a very, very simple and easy use case to implement. And fortunately, Searce has developed a very simple SaaS solution which you can easily integrate with zero coding. So we are happy to demo it. If you'd like to, please let us know if in the comments, or reach out to us if you'd like to get a personal demo. Moving on to the second use case, again, a very, very interesting one. So this is how what you see on the screen right now is this is how you see transactions when we log on to our net banking services. Something which for a user like us is difficult to read. We might not be able to decipher where did I spend this particular amount, of where did I transact it, what was the location like. And this becomes #1 reason for calls that go to support regarding these details. So something that Google Maps helps, and it has already been implemented across the globe, is a merchant reconciliation platform. So what it does is basically, if you have apps or even a web app, you can actually show where the transaction or at the merchant the transaction took place. So say if I'm spending at a KFC or a McDonald's, you can fetch that from the transaction details and show it on your customer interface platform that, hey, this is where you spend money, along with merchant logo and place category. You can also show the location where the transaction took place in case of point of sale transactions, right? So say if I'm spending at a particular location, it can be even a small grocery shop or a kirana shop, right? But again, this becomes very important because it attaches a location component and it helps a user recall where it took place. And if there are any red flags, you can easily raise a support call to the location, support call to the bank. And the third way is to categorize your spends. Now we can categorize spend in terms of eating out, movies, transportation, groceries. Again, this dashboard can be built with the help of data that Google Maps Places API gets you. So this is something which can be implemented, and it has been implemented across the globe. So we are happy to consult you on this as well. So this is one of the banks, Monzo, based out of UK, which has already done it. So they are making statements very user-friendly, saving a lot of costs to support calls or support systems that are there, adding location and time component so that it reduces customer anxiety. You can provide a lot more information about the merchant where the transaction took place, and also categorize the monthly budget and spend. Moving on to the second category of use cases, which is the location-based tech use cases enhancing security. The first one being location technology KYC, actually. So what this basically does is when anybody is trying to, say, log on to the app, request for loans, when in terms of apps like buy now, pay later, you'd like to know the location of the customer, verifying it if it's a valid point or not, and even approving those loans. And again, address location becomes a very, very important component to it. How it is in India is addresses are not standardized. They can give you random addresses which not be correct. But with the help of Google Maps Places API, the autocorrect API actually, you can use this as an added feature where people can enter a few characters, the address auto-completes, you have the latitude, longitude, and you can verify if that is the right location or not. And it gives you a lot more insights. Once you have the location of the customer, the right location, it gives you a lot of insights around what's in and around the area, if the spending power of that area is good, bad, in terms of loans approval or short-term credit approvals. The next is location technology fraud reduction. So this is a very, very, very important use case, and how location can help is matching the point of sale location to where the mobile location is. So say, for example, I'll walk you through the flow here. I am either transacting a lot of money from the ATM, I am spending it online, or I am doing it at a point of sale location. What basically happens is the financial institution verifies my location by sending a notification on the mobile app. Now, with that happens is it collects my latitude, longitude once it triggers, and it tries to geocode and verify if my phone is around or not, if my registered address, since it's online transaction, right? If my registered address is close to where I'm transacting at, and you can define this radius or the distance, which can be verified or which can be approved. So once this notification is sent to the mobile phones and it is verified by the user, only then the money is released or a transaction is made. So this automatically adds on a layer of location safety to the transaction that is being made. Any questions? I'm happy to take it towards the end of the call, but yeah. And we come to the last module of use cases around taking strategic decisions, improving operational efficiency. So something which is coming on time and again, especially in the financial industries, is tracking field force and planning routes. So for example, there are, like in Mahindra Home Finance example, there were sales rep on the go and they had to go and collect money. Collection was an important parameter. Similarly, for other banks, there are people who would go verify locations, do KYCs. So they have to be on the ground. And with Google Maps APIs, you can track your field force. You can create a dashboard where you can see where are your sales rep at any given point of time, and even plan their route in advance. So say if a person has to go to 4 to 5 locations in a single day, you can plan on which are the ones he should visit earlier, and so that the entire route or the entire time that he travels is optimized, and you know the right distance that he's taken. And connecting to it is automating fuel reimbursement processes. So because sales reps are on the go, you need to know exact kilometers each sales rep has traveled. And automating it with the help of Google Maps APIs can save you a lot of operational costs, manual efforts as well. So again, these two use cases are very, very related and are actually being implemented in a lot of financial services companies. With that, I wrap up the use cases, but I really wanted to push forward some of the case studies that we've worked on recently. And if this connects with you, we'd be happy to discuss this at detail. So the first company that we worked is Upstocks, again a stock trading company, and because of the SBI mandate, they had to collect addresses of the people who were logging into their application. One enhances security. You are able to collect the right address of the people who are logging in or registering to the app. So this is a use case which is mandated by the SBI, and you can also evaluate it for your businesses. The second is Fullerton India. They use Google Maps APIs to track live location of the field force when they are working on top of Google Maps APIs. And Kotak Asset Management. So what they do is they geotag location. So I have 10 meetings on the go. The moment I visit my first meeting, I can tag the location. A latitude, longitude is captured from it, and you can verify if I have, if my manager can verify if I've made it to the scheduled visit or not. So this is how geotagging location tracking field force on the go helps Fullerton and Kotak Asset Management. Taking some time to share how Searce can help this entire journey and bridge your gap. I think Ranjit and Yogendra have done a phenomenal job in sharing that, but I'll quickly share what Searce does and how you can also benefit from us. So Searce is a Google Cloud Premier partner. We've been partnered with Google for the last 14 years, have great expertise in the retail, e-commerce, healthcare, BFSI, manufacturing verticals. We have about 2,000 plus customers across all our offerings, and about a 600 plus strong team of people with the organization. And this is the journey of ours with Google. So we started back with G Suite, which is called as Google Workspace now, enterprise emailing solution. Then we graduated. We have our very own HRMS software that we built in-house called Happier Work. Back in 2015, we partnered on Google Cloud Platform and have enabled a lot of companies move to cloud with Google Maps platform. And in 2017 is when we started our Google Maps partnership, and we've had a lot of progress since then. We are one of the top premier partners for Google Maps, and we were the ones who were fastest to the premier status. And since then, we've worked on all the other products like Apigee, Google Cloud Search, and Recogni, again, a very, very interesting product that we've built in-house. It is a AI/ML-powered recognition tool, which reads your KYC documents and automates the process of verifying. Also want to share that we are one of the leading partners in JPAC, especially we've been Google Partner of the Year for the last 4 consecutive years with Google. This is the founder, Hardik Parekh, with the Google Cloud team at San Francisco. One more thing that I wanted to share is we are Specialized Partner, which is location-based services. And now Google has a specialization tags attached to all kinds of partners. It depends upon the kind of technical expertise they show, the kind of customers they deal with, the projects that they undertake, and how we're able to replicate this success. And we've been the first partner, when this launched back in 2018, we were the first partners from about 9 globally who got this tag. And this is because of all the demonstrated technical expertise that we have and the customers that we work with, and we've helped them with customized projects and solutions across. So I know there might be a question of how Searce Value Adds. So these are APIs that Google gets. So how we do it is we help you discover. We help you discover location intelligence use cases, and we consult you on that. So you might have use cases in mind, and what we'll do is we'll consult you the right flow of APIs that you need to use, the right flow of app or application that needs to be built, and that is how we help you. The second is we help you design the entire solution. In cases like Mahindra Home Finance, they needed a POC or a proof of concept, and that is how we help them. We help them build a small POC, a proof of concept, which was successful, and showed them that really Google Maps can be that bit that would automate or bring you to a next level. So discover and design comes with being a Google Maps partner with us. But something that we really add on is manage. We have a lot of custom development projects that we've worked on, and we have products that we've built on top of it. As I mentioned, Find My Store is our store locator solution that can be easily integrated, and we are happy to support you in that. So we've built some custom development projects that we can show you across. And last but not the least, we help you improve. So once you've started using Google Maps APIs, there is continuous engagement that we drive with you. We help you, use the right set of APIs, reduce costs wherever possible, so you only pay for what you use. And we also provide a ticketing support. So anywhere down the line, you have any questions, we are there to help you and guide you. The fourth benefit that I want to leave with is we have the domain expertise. We have products and solutions built on top of Google Maps platform. We provide you catered assistance for your particular use case. We understand it deeply and guide you based on your infrastructure environments. There are certain benefits when you use Google Maps platform APIs via a partner, and there are certain discounts that are added benefits to it, and we can discuss more. And we do a lot of usage optimization sessions once you've started implementing these APIs. Thank you everyone for joining us.